What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again. Alright, let's get into it. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again with another video. And today, as you guys can see in the title, I'm going to do an update to my Blu-ray collection. You know, I put out my complete Blu-ray collection video like a couple weeks ago or last month or something like that, and yeah, that video has been doing numbers. Y'all been really showing out for it, and like I said, I do want to start doing more content like that. I do want to do more stuff outside of my podcast, so you know, I'm gonna try to be consistent with the Blu-ray updates. But here's the thing, like I said in the last video, I don't make that much money, so I don't always have the money to buy like a lot of Blu-rays and stuff like that. So I would like to do monthly updates, like, you know, at the end of the month, show off all the Blu-rays that I get. But I'm gonna be transparent with y'all. If I'm not making that much money, which I'm truly not, I'm not even, you know, partnered on YouTube or nothing like that. So if I'm not making that much money, I can't say frequently how many updates I'll give, but you know, whenever I do get new Blu-rays, I'll try to do something at the end of that month whenever I do get new ones. But fortunately for me, this past week, or like either 2 weeks ago, I forget when, but recently Prime Day came up, and let's just say that I got a lot of Blu-rays through Prime Day. So shout out to Amazon, because I know there's a little bit of controversy going on with Amazon and Prime Day right now, but at least for me, I was getting a lot of good deals on films that I wanted. So yeah, enough talking, let's get into it. And one thing, because I don't have to show off my whole collection, definitely gonna show more detail of the Blu-rays. Like last time I had to cycle through like a whole collection's worth, but since this is just an update video, I can actually show you all the Blu-rays. I can actually go into detail about it, so let's get into it. The first movie that I have is John Wick Chapter 4. This one came out last year, and it was a movie that I very much enjoyed. I was kind of late into the John Wick film series. The first one that I saw was John Wick 3. And then after John Wick 3, when I first saw that in theaters with my cousin and one of my friends, you know, I went back to go watch the first two. And of course, when they announced John Wick 4, I said I'm going to go see that. This one, out of all of them, I probably rank this one like maybe my second favorite behind 2. Like maybe my second favorite. But yeah, John Wick goes hard. I like this movie. I love how, like, for the Blu-ray and for the DVD, they got different colors. Like, the Blu-ray is blue, the regular DVD is red, so I like that. Of course, I have it sitting next to the other John Wick collection that I have for the first 3 movies. And, you know, I'm hearing a lot of good things about, I think the spin-off movie is called Ballerina. I heard a lot of good things about Ballerina, so if Ballerina winds up being good, just as good as these films, then I'll have no problem adding it to my collection. The next movie is Boy and the Heron, another movie that came out last year. That was supposed to be, it was marketed as Hayao Miyazaki's last film. Shortly after this came out and it got good reception, Hayao Miyazaki basically announced like that he's still gonna make another film. So, you know, I'm a little worried about that because Hayao Miyazaki is getting up there in age. But, you know, if the unfortunate happens and this winds up being his last film, I would say that this was an amazing film, a beautiful film to end your filmography on. And it really does feel like, you know, a love letter to Studio Ghibli fans and just anybody that's a fan of his career. Like, there's a lot of elements from his old movies that shows up in this one. And, you know, this film explores a lot of topics on like mortality and what do you want, like what legacy do you want to leave, you know, when you pass away and stuff like that. So yeah, this movie is very special. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite Studio Ghibli movie, but it's definitely up there. So this is what the inside looked like. You got, now I got the 4K and Blu-ray collection, but I don't have a 4K player. I want to get a 4K player at some point, but for right now I only got Blu-ray players. So I always put my Blu-ray discs first since I don't have a 4K player. So I think this is the Blu-ray disc. Yeah, this is the Blu-ray disc, and this one in the back is the 4K disc. So, and what I like about this one, like I like the steelbook for this one, but what I like about this compared to the other steelbooks is like the other Ghibli steelbooks is just the pictures of the main character and the title. There's not really much else going on the covers. But for this, you know, you got the little creatures throughout the case. So I like that there's a little bit more detail on this one. There's more to look at on this case. So yeah, Boy and the Heron, it just came out on Blu-ray and DVD. So if you guys never seen it, go check it out and try to get them steelbooks while they last, because I know Ghibli steelbooks usually sell out pretty quickly. Next, we got another steelbook. We got the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Now, this is the first time, and just like other steelbooks, not too much going on. It's pretty much SpongeBob's design. But the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, I grew up on this movie. Like, I know there's a bunch of other SpongeBob movies. I seen the second one with my nephew because he kind of forced me to watch it with him. I know there's a third one. I know there's another one that's coming out on Netflix that leaked last year. And then there's another theatrical one coming out soon. Look, I don't care about none of those other SpongeBob movies. This is my childhood. This is the one that I grew up on, and this one is the one that I love. And when they say that, you know, this movie was intended to be the end of SpongeBob, this movie was the end of SpongeBob for me. Like, I really kept up until, like, I think season 6. Whatever the season where they went to Atlantis, like, that was the last season of SpongeBob that I paid attention to. But truly, this movie is the real ending for me. I love this movie, and even as I gotten older, I feel like it has a lot, you know, it has a lot of messaging about, like, growing up, trying to be an adult while also having that fun-loving kid side that keep your inner child while being an adult. So that's one thing that I liked about this movie. This is what the inside looks like. The other side, I think, has Plankton and Squidward on there. Let me see. Oh, no. This is what the inside fully looks like. You know, you got SpongeBob and Patrick on one side, Squidward, Gary, and you can see Plankton a little bit in the corner over there. Just like I do with my other discs, since I don't have a 4K player just yet, I keep the Blu-ray up front and the 4K in the back. But yeah, I really need to get me a 4K player. Guys, subscribe, make me a YouTube partner so that I can finally get like a 4K player. I really want one. This one just came yesterday, Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. This was one, now usually I like to get my movies in order. I wanted to order Into the Spider-Verse first, but this was the only one that had a not Black Friday deal. This was the only one in the series that had a Prime Day deal. So once I saw the Prime Day deal, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this. I'm not gonna wait. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, John Wick 4 was also a Prime Day deal. But yeah, Across the Spider-Verse came out last year. I don't really have to explain it because this movie was like so big last year. It was like one of the biggest movies to come out last year. But yeah, this is just the regular Blu-ray. I wanted to get the 4K and Blu-ray combo, but you know, the Blu-ray and DVD combos are always going to be the cheapest ones. So that's the Blu-ray right there with Gwen and Miles on there, and the DVD just blank. You know, I don't really care for DVDs that much, so you know, I don't really care about DVD designs, but I do love that they showed some type of effort for the Blu-ray, you know, with Gwen and Miles. I feel like that's a very beautiful, like, picture for the Blu-ray. But yeah, another Prime Day deal that I enjoy. Like I said, I try to get my movies in order, but I'm never going to miss out on a deal. So yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I would say check it out, but everybody and their mama basically checked it out at this point. Next, we have The Best Man, another black classic movie. This is another case where I wanted to get the movies in order, but if you've seen the last Blu-ray video, I got Best Man Holiday first. That's because that Blu-ray was cheaper. This one cost more money, but I did get it on a Prime Day deal. It was supposed to have a digital code in there, but I'm guessing this was pre-owned because all it came with was just the Blu-ray itself. So I'm guessing this was a pre-owned copy, but either way, whether it's pre-owned or not, it looks like they took care of it pretty well. I don't see no problems with the case. And my thing is, even if there was a problem with the case, just as long as the movie works, which I always test my Blu-rays, doesn't matter whether they're pre-owned, new, whatever. I always test my Blu-rays as soon as I get them. So I know that it works and I know that it's good. And this movie is a classic, or it's a black classic. You know, to overall film people, like I don't really see too many people talk about this. So if you haven't seen The Best Man, check it out. It's one of the best dramedies of the 90s. And while the series ended on a horrible note, if you've ever seen The Best Man final chapters, you know what I mean. While the series ended on a horrible note, I can say that this and Best Man Holiday was great films. Next, another Prime Day deal, we have Scarface, the 4K and Blu-ray collection. Scarface, I feel like almost every film person has to have this in their collection. I never finished all of Scarface. I watched like the beginning of it, or I think I watched half of it. I got to a good point in the movie, but I just never finished it. And it wasn't because I thought the movie was bad, I just never got around to finishing it. But yeah, Scarface, one of the greatest movies of all time. I remember growing up and one of my uncles having like the poster around their pool table at their house. So like anybody that loves film knows Scarface, and I feel like it's a movie that you have to have in your collection. So there's the Blu-ray right there, the blank one. Of course, the Blu-ray got to get the blank one, and they show love to the 4K disc. It kills me knowing that I can watch these movies in better quality. This is the last time I'm going to complain about it, but it kills me knowing that I could watch these movies in better quality if I got a 4K player, but I don't have one right now. But the Blu-rays still look good. Of course, it's still going to look good, and also, I do want to address this. Most of these, as you guys can see, says that it comes with a digital code. I've been getting a lot of comments on my last video of people asking for digital codes, and I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm someone that uses my digital codes most of the time. The only time I won't use digital codes is if I've already bought the movie digitally, but I'm finally buying it physically. So in most cases, I'm just going to tell y'all now, I'm sorry, I don't have physical codes. And even the first person that asked me for digital codes in the last video, I sent them basically my last two digital codes that I know I didn't use. So as I grow, of course, if I have more money, I have the means to just buy the movies digitally and physically, then I wouldn't mind doing digital code giveaways in the future. So like I said, let's get the subbing, let's get my channel up, and I'll give back to y'all just like how y'all giving to me. Next, we have Friday, but this is the director's cut of the movie. Um, Basically like an extended version of the film. I've always seen the original version, but I never seen the director's cut. So some point I am going to sit down and try to watch this version and see what they added, see what they didn't add. The only things that I know that they added for sure was that they extended the beginning of the movie, basically showing that Craig did not steal the boxes. It was, I forget the character's name, the homeless guy that's always getting drunk, but yeah. You know, they added a lot to the movie, but the only thing I've seen so far was the beginning where they added stuff. But yeah, basic disc. This is basically just like how the DVDs used to look, because my parents used to own the DVD for Friday. So, you know, I already knew how the DVD looked. I already knew like all the special features and stuff on there, but I just wanted the director's cut for myself, and I just wanted to have this movie on Blu-ray. But yeah, so I got the whole Friday collection now. Let's hope that Ice Cube gets to make last Friday so I can finish off the collection. And if you guys are wondering how I have the whole collection, even though I only have this one on DVD, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. So, yeah. Next, we have another movie from last year that I love, Thanksgiving. This movie came out last year in November, of course, or late October, November, basically around Thanksgiving time. If you've never seen this movie, it's basically Scream, but Ghostface is just John Carver. Or is it John Carver? That just shows me how much I really pay attention to Thanksgiving. But basically, it's almost like a Thanksgiving themed Scream movie. Like it's comedic. They have a lot of course, it's a horror movie with a lot of comedy in there. It follows a lot of the same horror tropes. They're trying to figure out who the killer is throughout the whole movie, and everybody's looking at who and trying to figure out who it is. Like, it is basically a Scream movie. The only thing I can say that this has over Scream, and personally, I know this might be a sin to say, I don't know the overall consensus with Thanksgiving, but personally, I like this movie more than all the Scream films. like I said, that might be a sin to say. I don't know if it is, but personally, I like this movie more than the Scream films. But just because it just feels like Scream, but the thing that I like more about this version is this one is to me, it's a lot more gorier, deadlier. Like the killer in this movie, just like how everybody was saying in Scream 6, how Ghostface was like stepping up and doing a lot more crazier things than usual. The killer in this movie, I'm not gonna lie, makes Ghostface look like a bitch. I'm not gonna lie to you. So the fact that the killer in this movie is like a lot more ruthless in my eyes, that's the only reason I think this is better than Scream. But if you're a fan of the Scream franchise, um, if you just like, slasher movies with teens and stuff like that, then check this movie out. It was pretty good. I don't know if I showed the disc, but actually I don't even know if I'm allowed to show this. I'm gonna show this just in case. I hope in the future this doesn't get me demonetized, but it's a bloody turkey. So I hope that don't get me in trouble in the future. But yeah, Thanksgiving. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Next, we have No Hard Feelings. This was actually high on my list last year for my favorite movies because for me, I think I said it in the last episode, I love 2000s movies, I love comedies, and this movie very much felt like, a return to form for like 2000s comedies. Like it just feels like a 2000s rom-com, and that's what I liked about it so much. And not even just the fact that it feels like a 2000s rom-com, but it is actually genuinely funny. I know a lot of rom-coms in the 2000s were kind of like corny and not really that funny, but this movie was actually genuinely funny. It had a lot of great moments in there, and Jennifer Lawrence gave a really good performance in this movie. So if you guys never seen it, definitely go check it out, especially if you're a fan of comedy, rom-coms, and stuff like that. Like, if you're just a fan of that type of stuff, check out the movie. This is what the disc is, just a picture of Jennifer Lawrence. I'm surprised they used that as the picture for the disc, but, it's a great movie. Um, I probably only watched it one more time after I seen it in theaters, but, I am moving into my own place soon, so definitely, I can see myself watching this again once I settle in and stuff like that. So, yeah. Next we have Law Abiding Citizen. And let me tell you, this movie traumatized me when I was younger because um it's crazy. When I first seen this in theaters, I remember me and my family, anytime I wanted to see a movie in theaters, I always had to go see whatever movie my parents wanted to see before or after what I wanted to see. So this night I saw Where the Wild Things Are, and my mom thought that I was gonna be scared of that movie because of how the creatures were designed, but you know, mom, I saw Where the Wild Things Are, and that didn't affect me. But this was the movie that affected me. And you want to know why? It's just because of one single scene. If you remember the scene where Jamie Foxx is talking to the judge, and I think she picks up the phone and the phone explodes and kills her, like that was the scene that traumatized me for so long. For a long time, I didn't want to answer phones because I was afraid that that shit was going to blow up like and kill me and shit. So yeah, when I was younger, yeah, mom, even though you thought Where the Wild Things Are was gonna traumatize me, this was the one that did it for a while. So Jamie Foxx and Gerard Butler, basically in this movie, Gerard Butler, his family gets killed, and when the justice system doesn't do enough for him, he decides to take, vigilante work into his own hands. And Jamie Foxx is basically the cop that's trying to stop him. So it is a very entertaining film. I'm surprised that I liked it when I was younger because like this is more slower paced than what I would have liked when I was younger, but it's a movie that stuck with me. I enjoyed it every time I watched it, and yeah, so you got two discs, basically the same cover. One, which one is the regular? I can't tell right now. Maybe it says it somewhere, but one of them is the regular theatrical cut, and the other one is the director's cut. So yeah, I never seen the director's cut, so maybe that's gonna be one that I watch soon, when I settle into the new place. And then the last movie for today is Zola, the A24 film based on the Twitter thread about a girl and her friend who went stripping in Miami. They took a trip to Miami to go strip, and basically things just went crazy. Um, Starge Taylor Page, her fine self, and I don't know her name. That might be Riley Keough. That might be her. But yeah, it was a pretty good movie in my opinion. When I went to go see this movie, I saw it with two of my friends and they did not like this movie at all. Oh, well, one of them didn't like it at all. The other one said that like it was an okay film, but he would only watch it with his girlfriend. But for me, this movie, I actually genuinely enjoyed it, but I think what made me enjoy it more than they did is like I'm more into the A24 neon like, outlandish independent type movies and stuff like that. And also I am a movie person in general, so maybe that's why I liked it more than them. But yeah, this movie was pretty enjoyable. Obviously, it's not like one of the big A24 films, so it don't really get talked about too much. But if you're a fan of A24, definitely check it out. This is what the disc looked like. Basically, just the logo and it's blue. But yeah, if you never seen this movie, definitely check it out. It's a very underrated A24 film. I'm not saying like underrated and like, oh, it should be like up there with Uncut Gems and Midsummer and stuff like that. But this movie is worth a watch just to see if you like it. I know I like it, and it's been a while since I've seen it, so I'm probably gonna watch this one again soon. But yeah. That's it for now. That's basically the July update for my Blu-rays and stuff like that. I do want to address some of the comments in the last video. Guys, I'm horrible with texting. I'm horrible with like responding back to people. So when I don't answer back on comments and stuff like that, it's not like I'm not reading it, and it's not like I'm not, enjoying the engagement and seeing that people like the content and stuff like that. It's just I'm literally horrible with responding back. That's something I am going to work on because I hate leaving people, not answered. So, that's something I'm gonna work on. And also keep the film recommendations going on. I've seen someone leave a lot of horror film recommendations. I love horror movies, so send the film recommendations. If you guys have any recommendations based on like the movies that I showed off today, like if there's movies that that you like that are very similar that I may have not seen, leave it down in the comments below. Let me know. And yeah, pretty much like I said, if I get more Blu-rays next month, expect another Blu-ray collection update. And, like I said, leave in the comments what movies you recommend, what movies you like, and, all of that. And with all that being said, Tevin Jameer signing out. Catch y'all in the next video.